evening to one and all. Center of Excellence in Safety Engineering and Analytics, CoE-SEA, wholeheartedly welcomes all our dear participants to week 66 of the weekend talk on Safety Engineering Management and Analytics. The event is conducted under Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, which commemorates 75 years of India's independence. Today we begin with this beautiful slogan, Asatoma Sadgamaya, Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityoma Amridam Gamaya. Praying to Almighty to lead us from ignorance to truth, from darkness to light, and from death to immortality. Now let me welcome our dignitaries onto the virtual dais. We have Professor J. Maiti, who's the chairman of the center, Professor O.B. Krishna, who's the convener of the event, and our expert speaker for the day, Mr. Deep Narayan Konar. He is a bachelor in metallurgical engineering from NIT Durgapur. He worked as a product application engineer at RD Business Services Private Limited for 2 years and in aero engine manufacturing at Hindustan Aeronautics Limited for 5 years. He has been working with Tata Steel Limited for the last 10 years in various functions like shared services, total quality management, and safety for the last 4 years. He is experienced in the field of product application marketing, manufacturing, total quality management, safety, project planning, and execution. Currently, he is heading the contractor safety team, and he is responsible for the implementation of contractor safety management system across Tata Steel locations. CoE-SEA is very privileged to have you with us today, sir. And now I kindly invite Professor O.B. Krishna to formally welcome our expert speaker. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Sween. Great to see Deep Narayan here, who is from my former organization. Very happy to see him, especially when we get people from prestigious organizations. There are many organizations from prestigious organizations. The speakers have shared their experiences. So Tata Steel is one of such organizations, and they are ahead of many of the organizations. That is their tradition right from the starting of the company. Many schemes, many things were initiated in Tata Steel. Later, government has adopted. I don't want to mention all those things. Similarly, today the topic which Deep Narayan is going to share is also such thing. Many organizations require this. It is one of the excellence type of initiatives Tata Steel has taken. I'm very happy that Deep has agreed to share this to all the audience, because Tata's feel sharing safety will bring improvements in other organizations, thereby save people, property. That is the spirit of Tata's. MD Mr. T.V. Narendran mentioned it many times, and earlier CEOs also. Very happy, Deep. I formally welcome you. I am looking for listening to your experiences, which you are going to share. And for the participants, this talk will be in the YouTube under our center, so you can enjoy from the YouTube also if anybody is missing. Yeah, Deep, to you.
So thank you, Swin, and thank you, OBK sir. So just I'll share my screen. So good evening to everyone. So I know this session is being conducted at a bit late evening. So I'll talk about one of the benchmarkable practices of Safety Leadership Development Center, which has been implemented at Tata Steel. And I can tell you this is an innovative approach, and the purpose is very simple, is to improve the risk perception of the workforce at Tata Steel. So in Tata Steel, if you see, the structured safety excellence journey started in 2004-5 with the help of one of our renowned worldwide consultant, is DuPont. And if you see over the years what happened, Tata Steel's capacity has increased, geographical presence has increased, and we have taken so many initiatives over the years. And if you see, which is actually reflecting into the lost time injury frequency rate graph, which is at the top is a World Steel average, and the bottom one is the Tata Steel, which is marked in blue in color. So it has given shown a result over the years. But if you see from 2017 onwards, it has started to plateau. And the concern was serious injury or fatalities among the contractor workforce was a challenge for us. While to have a robust safety management system implementation across organization and for standardization purpose, we had 87 odd safety standard which has been developed over the years, and it has undergone multiple PDCA cycle, and it has strengthened over the years, taking learnings from lot of injuries within industry, outside industries, across locations, and it has become standards. But still, the gap analysis of these incidents points that it has a lack of non-uniform penetration across organization. And in some places, we are blunt to say that it was relatively low. And we, at that point of time, the Tata Steel entire management team has started to focus in what disruption we can bring in into our safety management system, and so that we can improve the risk perception of the entire workforce, and that will actually help us to uh, achieve our long-term objective of zero harm. So that is the backdrop or trigger behind designing of this kind of disruption in developing a safety capability and competency of the workforce. So this is a Bradley maturity curve which has been adopted from DuPont, and it says any cultural maturity, safety cultural maturity of any organization, it has a four phase. The starting phase is a reactive phase, then dependent phase, then independent phase, and the last one, which is the most desirable phase, is the interdependent state. And if you see in the reactive and dependent phase, typical people's behavior will be I follow the rules because I have to, otherwise I'll be penalized or something else. And if you gradually move from dependent to independent to interdependent, the people's behavior change, and their version changes from I follow the rules because I have to I follow the rules because I want to follow. And typically, I will give you an example in my personal life also, where my behavior had changed from I follow the rules because I have to I want to, is the wearing of seat belts while I drive or sit in the car. So probably 12, 13 years, 14 years back, I never used to wanna wear the seat belts. When I entered into Tata Steel, and I was given a safety induction training and all those things, and I was taught about uh, the behavior on road which I am supposed to follow. So one of them was to use seat belt while I drive. So believe me, in the initial few days, it actually was a discomfort for me. But gradually, gradually after a few months, it became my habit. And I can tell you, today I can't drive my car without wearing a seatbelt. And that is a cultural transformation has happened in me. And I can tell you this cultural transformation has happened over the years. If you enter into Tata Steel premises, you can witness these things. You won't get to notice anybody who is driving the car without any seat belt, any helmet, without wearing visor and all those things. And if you see the cultural maturity assessment, Tata Steel is in the junction of dependent and independent phases. So while some of the departments are at independent phases and some of the departments are dependent phase. So that's why we are in a junction. So we also through this initiative of increasing risk perception of the workforce, we wanted to shift the cultural mindset of people from the dependent to independent phase. So why this change in risk perception was so crucial for us, and which has helped us to design this kind of innovative approach for safety capability and competency. So I'll show you three pictures. Probably you have seen, and if you see in these three pictures, so the extreme left one is probably in the dependent phase. They don't know what is the rules and procedure they are supposed to follow while driving on road, just to safeguard their own life and also the life of their near and dear ones. And if you see the extreme right, so they had understood the importance of safety, but if you see the adherence to that, so only the husband and wife, both the spouses are wearing the helmets and the kids are still not wearing the helmets. Where the hazards and the likely consequences, it remains same, but the people behave differently. And if you see the middle of the picture, so both of them are wearing seatbelt, the kid and the parents. And so that's the risk perception. So moment you have your risk perception has improved over the years, then your behavior changes. And that is what is depicted into the, if you see this maturity, this plot into the left. So this risk perception varies person to person, and and as a leader we need to continuously take innovative approach to sensitize the people so that their behavior changes. And that I can tell you that it is easier to say, but it takes longer period of time and it requires a lot of effort to change the behavior of people. And typically risk is likelihood and consequences. So hazard and risk are same for all these three pictures which I have shown on this slide, but the perception varies people. So if you see the risk perception level at the extreme left of the picture is absolutely zero, a bit mature in the right extreme right, and if you see the maturity level is the center of the pictures. And this is the interdependent phase, and this is expected as in from all of us. So how we can improve the risk perception of the employees, and what will be the modality, what will be the training control. So we started to analyze all our past 15 years serious injuries, including all the fatalities, and we tried to map what are the safety standards which are which has a maximum which shares the maximum share of the pie. So we have identified those safety standards for developing the safety competency of the workforce. And during our extensive research, we came across this applied behavioral science learning pyramid, which has been adopted from the NTL Institute of Applied Behavioral Science in US. This learning pyramid was a really eye opener for us, and we started to analyze our existing methodology of imparting safety related trainings and capability development which has been currently in practice at Tata Steel. And we actually try to follow most of them at the classroom-based, lecture-based of training. And if you see in the top portion of the triangle, the retention part is only 5%. So 95% of the effort towards absorbing those key concepts has already, as a volatile matter, has gone out of from the people. And moment you go down from lecture, reading, audiovisual, then practical demonstration to discussion mode, the retention level increase. If you see at the discussion level, it goes as high as 50%. And whatever you have taught, if they practice doing in front of you, the retention level goes as high as 75%. And if you see, if you teacher teaches based on their learning, it goes as high as 90%. So this is the while we trying to design the training methodology. So what we started doing is that we started a combination of lecture, audiovisual, then discussion and practice doing. So most of them is audiovisual, demonstration, discussion. So the retention level will increases from 5% to 50%. In some cases, we also introduce deliberately the practice doing also. So the retention level in some of these areas goes as high as 75%. So while analyzing we had analyzed. So Tata Steel has a domain expertise over the years. We have learned from on the safety subject. We had the domain expert, and we have subject matter expert on each and every subject who are spread it across organization. And we had a lot of knowledge management based on the past learning from the past incidences. So we had that domain expertise. But we wanted to design this training model in such a manner. So we wanted to adopt the technology which are mostly suitable to deliver those innovative content, and we had adopted those smart technologies to impart the training to the targeted audience, and the content was designed in such an innovative way the retention level goes as high as 75%. But the challenges was the learning model has to cater to all level of workforce, which includes a contractor workforce who is engaged in the cleaning kind of activities, to the impact level on the, which is the highest level on the vice president and CEO and MD of Tata Steel. So we need to design the training model to cater all this requirement. It has to be a vernacular language, and also from starting to improve the risk perception, also to connect the people with the personal and professional life on the safety. If you don't follow any safety rules and procedures, if anything happens to happen, what are the likely consequences which will happen to your family members? And our CEO and MD keep saying that a fatality to one is fatality to many. So it is not a fatality of a single person who dies in the workplace. It is a fatality to the entire family. And also we try to, while design concerned, we need to keep it as a state of art architecture so that it creates an atmosphere of conducive learning. And these were all the backdrop while designing the Safety Leadership Development Center. And with this backdrop, we also try to create a unique space, and the combination of training should be in such a manner that it will be a combination of audio, video, poster, props, then some physical demonstration, and that will the design, the course content is, and the training hall is designed in such a manner so it will break the linear monotony among the trainees, and it also create an immersive experience among the participants to optimize the retention level of the knowledge on safety standards which you want to inject among the workforce to improve their risk perception. So that was the backdrop. All this was the backdrop in designing the Safety Leadership Development Center. And this is, if you enter into our Safety Leadership Development Center, this is the safety training hall while you enter into that, and it is crafted with the vision of our founder. So which he had written almost 100 years back. In a free enterprise, the community is not just another stakeholder in business, but in fact, they are very purpose of its existence. And that's why we have adopted and his vision to impart training at Safety Leadership Development Center. And from here, it started creating a positive vibes among the participant who enters into the Safety Leadership Development Center training hall. So if you go inside the training hall, it is designed like this. So whenever any participant enters into the training hall, so there is a welcome zone where participants are being welcomed by the competent trainer. The emergency preparedness are briefed to them, and then the connect with the family and all those things starts from the welcome zone. And then the participant gradually moves from to the cluster 1, cluster 2, and cluster 3. So I'll discuss in details on the cluster 1 and all those training modules in subsequent slides. And then the entire training module is on 2.5 hours. Earlier, which used to be almost 3 to 5 days training content, has been compressed to 2.5 hours. And then all the participant undergoes interactive, specially designed training test module in an world-class test center. So even a illiterate person can also they can understand the training module, and they can also go through this interactive test module, and they can also successfully complete it. And this training module, which has been designed at Safety Leadership Development Center, is now a condition to work inside Tata Steel premises. So this is just a pictorial view of the welcome zone. And here what we have done, this is completely informal settings are there. And if you see the right hand, the picture, so it states it starts with a beautiful mural which is being portrayed into the wall. And it says, stay safe at work and enjoy life at home. So this gives a powerful message to the participant that so each one of us plays an dual life. One is our professional life and one is our personal life. So any unsafe act at personal life will jeopardize our personal life. But we often tend to forget. So any unsafe act at your personal life, at your home, also imbalances your professional life. So if you see a person who enters into Tata Steel behaves differently, but that same person behaves differently outside. Why? So they ignores the fact that safety is equally important at your personal life to balance your professional life also. And that is the impact and powerful message we wanted to communicate to the participant. And then there are leadership message from our CEO and MD, Vice President Safety, Health and Sustainability, is shown through a video, but the video starts with a beautiful message that life is beautiful and life is, and that video starts with that, and then the message of senior leadership team, and then the ends the welcoming zone, and then the participant gradually moves to the different other zones. And the first zone is so the first zone is a personal protective equipment, which is the most neglected part in the industrial life, but it is the most important in a hazardous in all the industries is the personal protective equipment. Probably COVID-19 pandemic has taught us the importance of one of the personal protective is the nose mask. That is the so why here the participants are explained and what are the different kinds of hazards while you enter into the different workplaces inside the Tata Steel, and what are the precaution and what are the kind of protective gears you need to wear at different kind of, because the hazards changes from different workplaces. So the hazards in blast furnaces is different than the hazards associated in the cold rolling mills. So the precaution, the PPEs are different, and PPEs you need to wear before entering is something different. So and then what happens in the video we have simulated some past incidents just to sensitize people that if you don't wear right kind of gear, then what will be the likely consequences which may happen inside the plant. And then the message ends with there are two, three kinds of messages we wanted to communicate through the videos. Is PP is your last line of defense. If all the hierarchy of control fails, PP probably reduces the consequences and it will help probably. Request all to kindly mute your mic.
What is that sound coming, Savik?
Somebody's mic is on.
Please mute all the participant mics except the speaker. Please,
Yes, sir. We are muting all the.
Savik.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Can you hear me? Now I think, sir, it is okay. So sorry. So and there are beautiful two three messages we wanted to communicate is that PP is last line of defense. Choose your PP, inspect at a regular frequency before using it, and also the a damaged PP is equivalent to no PP, or a damaged and PP with improper fit is equivalent to no PP. So these are the key takeaways apart from what are the kind of gears you need to wear at various hazardous workplaces. This we communicate to these people. And through this uh, specially crafted videos, the message is seen that PP, what are the importance of PPs. Then we moves into the occupational health. Why do we explain the people what is the importance of health and well-being? So we talk about the mental and social well-being and what are the various ergonomic related diseases which and lifestyle diseases which may occur over the periods of time, like noise induced hearing loss and all those hearing conservation programs, industrial hygienes and all those things in the occupational health safety. The third is if you in an industry, hazardous industry, the most important part is if you before start of any job is isolating all the energy source isolation, and work permit and LOTO mechanism, lockout and tag out mechanism. And the zone 3 explains all those things, where it says if how to have an energy source isolation mechanism, then energy source isolation methodology for different kind of sources, then what are the different kind of agencies involved into the job, like working agency, executing agency, and all those things. Then LOTO mechanism. Now we have migrated from LOTO to LOTO, lockout, tag out, and try out mechanism. And then there are certain videos, and video shows the if you do not do or follow the proper LOTO mechanism, what are the likely consequences, and some of the incidents which had happened in past. So that has been that no negative things have been simulated so that it can sensitize the people and thereby their risk perception improves. And the fourth one is on walking at height. So what are the fall protection and fall prevention mechanism? and then what are the different kind of PPEs you need to wear, and their usage, their inspection, and then here we actually follow the practice doing part of using the full body harness, how to use this, how to use the different kind of retractable fall arrestor, and all those things are there. So these four zones concludes the cluster one, and then the participant moves to cluster two, which is which consists of welding and cutting. Because if you see it is a cross cutting across the organization. Then on the material handling and storage, then electrical safety primarily focuses electrical safety on HV, LV, extra high voltage, and the focus is also onto the on the temporary electrical wiring, where it is required in the different kind of sort of maintenance and the construction related activities. And the fourth one, the Tata Steel is a process industries, and we handle lot of hazardous gases and hot metals. So the fourth zone is on the loss of containment, and the primary focus is on the hot metal and the different kind of gases like coke oven gases, blast furnace gases, and all those things. But here also we give a flavor of process safety into to the participant, and also here we explain to our workforces on the EHS risk matrix, which is on environmental health and safety risk matrix, and it we show different of likelihood and consequences based on the combination of likelihood and consequences. What are the kind of risks? So we have four kind of risks. The intolerable risk are the red and yellow, and the tolerable risk is blue and green. So risk one is a red risk, and risk four is a green risk. So our endeavor is to all the risk is to convert from the risk one is a red risk to a green risk. Then the cluster three is on road and excavation safety, because we do lot of project related activities, and in any kind of project related activities the excavation plays an important role. And in past there have been lot of accident related to excavation, so the zone is on excavation. And then the next zone is on road and rail safety. And road and rail safety actually plays a crucial role in Tata Steel. And just to give you the magnanimity of the road and rail network in Tata Steel Jamshedpur work. So we have around approximately 220 kilometer of road network inside Tata Steel Jamshedpur premises. 90 plus kilometer of railway network. We have 74 road and rail intersection. So that is create a huge amount of challenges for us, and we have also the movement of heavy vehicles and mobile equipment, and that's why it creates a road and rail safety. And the last one is on the heavy vehicle and mobile equipment. So these are all these 11 zones which we have imparting training on the innovative way to the these 11 safety standard we had identified based on our past 15 years fatal incidents analysis, and these are the safety standard which actually share the majority of the incidents. And this is a test center. The test center is also an important thing to check the dissemination level. And also, we used to post this test. We used to take feedback from the participant for further improvement. So, lot of improvement has happened in the training course and content over the period of time based on the feedback of the participant. And all these test modules are specially designed. It is an interactive, and all the pieces which you can see is the touch pieces, and only the contractor workforce enters through their RFID safety pass number credential, and all the employees through their individual personal number. And the 60% is the minimum qualification scores for this successful completion of this training modules in Safety Leadership Development Center. And this is linked with the Gate Pass and Safety Pass. safety pass for the contractor workforce and for the gate pass of our own workforce. And as I have stated earlier, this is a condition to work inside the Tata Steel premises. And then again, all the workforce has to undergo periodical refresher training in these modules. So for contractor workforce, it is a once in a year, and for our own employees, it's a once in a 2 years. And in a year, we cater to almost 60,000 of workforce in Jamshedpur works. So this was the safety training module design. So now I'll talk some of the things, the smart technologies which has been adopted while designing the architect of this entire campus. So while designing the architecture of these things, we have tried to maintain maximum green cover into the campus so that people becomes relaxed. So entire center is designed in a barrier-free design so that there is a effortless movement of breeze, light, and people. Then we have all smart LEDs and HBS ACs, and all those things are designed in such a way that it reduces, optimizes. I would say that it optimizes the power consumption while imparting training. So this training center is operationally currently in 16 hours, two shift, morning 6 o'clock to night 10 o'clock. And this entire campus is a green campus. In terms of it is equipped with a rooftop solar panel. So almost 90 to 95% of day-to-day power related requirement as made through the required rooftop solar panels. We have that, not to mention the rainwater harvesting and all those. So entire campus is a green campus, and we are now currently applying for Green Co certification of this campus. So this campus was inaugurated by our chairman of Tata Sun, Mr. N. Chandrasekaran, in presence of all the dignitaries like our CEO and MD, and that actually shows us the commitment of leadership at all level of senior leadership safety on. Senior leadership team's commitment on safety, and they demonstrate actually role modelship on safety. So we have analyzed the participants' feedback, and the overall feedback was excellent in terms of infrastructure, faculty, innovative content design, and the participant, the encouraging factor, the participant can relate the learnings through all these modules to their actual workplace, and they can identify the gaps and the mistakes which normally they commits in their day in day out life. And this is some of the feedback from Tata Business Excellence Model Assessors, which is derived from the Malcolm Valley's assessment model. So they were overall seeing these practices. And I just wanted to show. So these were the, probably you will be curious to know what is the actual impact and how it has helped to build a cultural transformation into among the workforce at Tata Steel. So just to give you an illustration, in FY16 to FY financial 19 year, we had 4 fatalities at Jamshedpur works. And post that, it is FY22, FY23, it is 0 fatalities of contractor employees and 0 fatalities for our own employees for last 2 years. And the result is also the cycle time of safety training without compromising the content and all those things has reduced drastically from 8 days to 2.5 hours. And there have been, I can tell you, there are a lot of digitization has happened, lot of digital intervention has taken place in terms of booking the training slot, linkages with the gate passes and safety passes, the post-training, the test feedback with the safety pass activation and all those things. And the entire the training modules runs on the book my show kind of things where you book your training slot as per your convenience, and attend the training program. So in FY21, with taking all the COVID-related precaution, so it was almost 14,000, 15,000 odd workforce have been trained in FY21. In FY22, almost 30,000 workforce have trained through Safety Leadership Development Center, and another 30,000 workforce have been trained from our erstwhile training center, which we used to call it Safety Excellence Center before it went phase out. In FY23, it is completely Safety Leadership Development Center, and though the figure is a bit old, is in May 2022. So current figure is almost, we have trained almost 70,000 workforce through this safety training center. And I'm happy to share these safety lead practices at Safety Leadership Development Center. The innovative approach we have taken has been identified as one of the benchmarkable practices across Tata Group during Tata Business Excellence Model Assessment in 2021. And this knowledge is not restricted to inside the Tata Steel only. So lot of Tata Group companies has benchmarked these practices. Just to name a few, are Tata Motors, Tata Power, Tata Steel Long Product, Tata International, Tata Metalics, and all those things. And through these training models, almost 700 odd vendor partners who are engaged into the high-risk job inside the Tata Steel premises have been benefited through these practices. And these practices has also won, since this is the training content part design was co-created with Tata Elxsi. So Tata Steel and Tata Elxsi jointly won the L&D Vision and Innovation Award in 2021 for this innovative practice in Safety Leadership Development Center. So just to give you the snapshot of Safety Leadership Development Center through a small video. So just I want to, for your references.
In Tata Steel, safety is not an option, it's a promise.
I think the minimum that we should promise to anyone who walks into Tata Steel is they'll walk back or walk out of Tata Steel unharmed. And I think the Safety Excellence Center is a good place to start that journey.
And thus, to accomplish its promises, the Safety Leadership Development Center was established and inaugurated by Mr. N. Chandrasekharan, Chairman Tata Sons, in March 2020. The training range covers from PPE to various other safety and health-related aspects in all spheres of activities, starting from the office, plants and mining. The center's focused approach with new policies and framework has brought in positive results. Equipped with modern technologies in the field of safety and health, SLDC has set the ball rolling, inducing the employees of both Tata companies and that of the contractors to a safety training course conducted by the safety training instructors. SLDC is all set to accomplish the target. In Tata Steel.
So our journey doesn't stop here. So we are now in a process of further disrupting safety capability and competency development of our workforce. So now we are coming up with a practical safety training center where we intend to impart practical safety, where the people will be practice doing and teach others kind of things in some of the identified hazardous areas. And this will act as a passport to work in those hazardous areas. Just to name a few are confined spaces, material handling, working at height, including rooftop maintenance, then your gas safety, gas line maintenance, and so name few. So these are some of these modules which will be, people will be trained in the practical training center, and they will be issued a passport before entering into those hazard specific. And through this, we also implemented geofencing so that the people who has not successfully completed those hazard specific training, they won't be allowed to enter into those hazard specific areas. So this is all from my side. So I'll be happy to take your any questions or anything which you are having. Swan, if you can read out, because I am not able to see any question if it is there in chat box.
Thank you, sir, for this wonderful and informative lecture. Sir, we have received several questions in the chat box. So, sir, I am taking one by one, sir. Like, sir, one question is that, are you not adopting VR and AR technologies in this excellence center for training purpose?
So, VR and AR, we are actually, if you see this training model, this is a safety induction training to the entire workforce, including the periodic refresher. So, we never intended to bombard the most of the safety standard to this workforce. So this is a base formation, and so as I had showed in my previous slide, here we will be implementing a VR center. So to start with, in this VR center, we will be having modules. Already we had planned, which is under implementation, is on his moving machinery. And the primary focus will be the moving conveyor belts. Then it will be on the gas safety related things. So here is part of the practical training center, not into the safety leadership development center.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Now, the next question is, sir, that as we see that the understanding of risk perception, it varies from person to person. So, if we give training and if we make some awareness program, will it come to a consensus, the risk perception?
So just to how we intend to improve risk perception among workforce, just I am giving you an example. So what happened? So just in PPE zone. So while we give a clear-cut message to the workforce that polycarbonate eyewear of EN 166 standard you need to wear before entering into our workplace. So if you don't wear this eyewear, so what will happen? So we had shown in the video, and certain it has been simulated and made in such a way that one flying object suddenly flews and hits onto the one people's eyes, and his eyes started started bleeding. And those actually negative pictures gives a clear-cut message to the people: if you don't wear the eyewear in my working place, well, this is something which is going to happen with you. And that actually, though you can say that actually helps to improve risk perception. So if I don't wear, certainly some flying object will hit my eyes and I'll lose my so these are the kind of negative scenarios which have been. So another example is into the in the just I'm giving you an example in the energy source isolation. So there is a what we have. One of the things is there is a hot tank, and in hot tank there were certain chemicals, inflammable chemicals. And one person, without isolating and draining the chemical and following the procedure before start of the job, so he started the gas cutting operation and suddenly it blasted, and his body became blooded, and that actually gives a message to the people, and thereby these kind of small messages through these scenarios which has actually happened in past, we have curated this kind of scenarios or simulated into these videos to improve this risk perception. Hope I am able to answer your
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Now the next question is, sir, that what are the steps you have taken in your excellence center to achieve the sustainable safety management system in your organization?
So That's a sustainable safety solution in terms of, if you see, we had certain matrices. So for Tata Steel, safety is not a matrix; it is a value. Obviously, sometimes you measure through the matrices. So this actually help you for a cultural transformation. It connects you to people with their family, professional life, what are the risks, and through this risk perception level, it helps. It guides them to adhere to the safety standards, rules, procedure, standard operating procedure while executing any job. And if you follow all these standard operating procedures, standards, and all those things, probably that is actually key for executing any high risk job in safer manner. And if you can safely execute those jobs, the my safety management system shows the impact on the matrix.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for your nice explanation. Now, I would like to invite Professor Krishna to provide vote of thanks to our expert speaker. Over to you, sir.
I just want to ask the participants, if you want to ask direct question, unmute all the participants. Sorry.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I am unmuting.
If anybody participant want to ask direct question to the speaker, you can do it. Okay. Okay, thank you. A wonderful, really wonderful sharing of the best practices of Tata Steel. A huge training, effective training center. I'm very happy to see how effectively the training is being imparted to the people with a short time. Good. I hope this will improve. Somebody asked the sustainability ultimately of Tata Steel. Any investment and people, contractors, all others will improve the sustainability of the operations as a whole sustainability of the organization.
Right, sir.
But bring VR and augmented realities where the people can be immersed and all hazards. People cannot imagine the hazards.
Correct, sir.
People cannot be. If you want to tell after something has happened, then it will take millions of years to tell all the things. So you can put in the form of in the AR, augmented reality, all these things. It will help improving the risk perception.
So that will be part of practical training center and which will be operational by early next year. So it will be by Jan 2023, it will be operational. So there will be full-fledged VR and AR, and that is the future of safety related training on the standards.
And this Center of Excellence in Safety Engineering and Analytics, which is started in IIT Kharagpur, it is one of the important objectives is to help the industries. Of course, we are giving inputs to the students, started giving, but those students coming to the industry will take time. So to quickly impart the required safety engineering, management, and analytics inputs to the industries we have started. I'm very happy many industries started taking the benefit of it. And persons like you, you all will be good resources to our center to share your knowledge to the participants coming across the world to these courses in our CoE. Thank you.
So I'll be happy to contribute, and I invite all of you, if you get some time, just drop me a message, and please do visit our Safety Leadership Development Center. I can definitely tell you, the takeaways will be huge, and you can contribute immensely to the society where we belong to.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you to Sreen and Savik for conducting this whole function very well, organizing this, and the participants who have attended. I know because we are streaming in the YouTube, people would like to see through YouTube, especially the foreign participants where the timings are different. So still good with the people you have attended. So gentlemen, thank you very much. We'll meet again next week, 8 p.m. with one more important speaker, this time from academics. Thank you and good night.
Thank you, sir. Thank you all. Good night.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.